Hello again, and welcome to the 5-Minute Movement. Just 5 minutes to get us moving in all sorts of ways. So today we're building on something that some of you might have done with me not that long ago, which is serving tea. So just to remind ourselves or learn the basic pattern for the first time, I'm taking my fingers and curling them toward my ribs. Then I continue that arc and send them away. And then I come around and back. So it's this continuous movement where I'm not reversing the direction. I'm trying to keep my hand facing palm up, like I'm imagining that I am serving tea and I don't want to spill a drop. And I can try that with the other side. So fingers come to point to the ribs, and then they continue to migrate away, around the head, and back. And I can get my spine as much or as little involved in this as I like. If I want to get more movement from the shoulder, I lock down the spine. So now I'm going to focus on one hand at a time. And what I'm curious about here is the influence of different positions of my body on my capacity to do this. So I'm going to play with different positions. So I might start from standing the way that I was, and I'm going to stay on one side for a while. And then maybe I see what that's like. What's it like for me to do it in a squat? That's quite a bit different. What's it like for me to do it in a hinge? So kneeling with one knee down, I wonder if it's different kneeling the other knee down. How do I need to adjust my body differently? So I'm looking for the different ways that my different body parts are related here. So I'm quite curious about this position and how the hips are involved differently depending on which side I'm on. And then I might get all the way to the floor. That's different. That's quite a bit different. Then I could even come to all fours. And then especially if I imagine not spilling any tea, I might need to do some interesting things here. I could do this with one forearm down as well, if I didn't feel like taking movement into my wrist. And it's interesting for me to see just how difficult it is for me to maintain that idea of serving tea. And of course I can try the other side as well. So I would try that probably starting from standing in the more familiar position, starting with familiar and then moving into unfamiliar is generally an easier strategy. But you do you. Then maybe trying to lock my body down a bit. And all I'm doing here is repeating this movement in order to understand the relationships, as well as to get a little bit of movement in the spine and the shoulders. And then I might try a different position. So let's try this half squat here with wider legs. That's different. How about a low toes up squat? Maybe with one knee down. Maybe with both knees down, but tall. And is that different than both knees down and sitting back? How about this half tall kneeling on one side and half tall kneeling on the other side? And it's interesting for me to, even if the movement is fairly fluid and easy for me, look at how I can move my body in different ways. So it's different for me to move like this than it is for me to move like this, and try to notice what are all of the relationships that I can explore, and do this particular movement in different ways in order to explore that relationship. And you see, the longer I go, the more curious I can become about what I'm doing. So sometimes boredom has a little bit of a benefit in that you start exploring other things. So maybe let yourself run out of ideas and then go looking for more, looking for different ways you can uncover this little task, which is simply serving tea in as many ways as you can. Oh, that's a tough one for me. Then maybe gradually making my way back up. And then, of course, if I wanted to go in the other direction, I could. But I would say for now, just start with the easier form of serving tea, which is the hand coming in, out, around, and in. All right. I hope that you enjoyed that today, and I look forward to seeing you again at the 5-Minute Movement. Take care. Bye now.